Welcome to this DDI CADcast. I'm Michael Nolte. This is part 2 of the Drawings and Detailing section of the 2013 SOLIDWORKS What's New. Let's go and take a look at the topics here. There's actually only 2 items that are covered in this part 2, mainly because there's a lot of little details that show up in this year's release, specifically with the Drawings and Detailing section. So we'll start out with the Drawings view, and then we'll go into the Layers section after at the end of this part 2 section. So in this first section, we're actually going to be covering new enhancements for the drawing views for SOLIDWORKS 2013. The very first item is we're actually going to take a look at the ability of converting drawing views to sketches. So you just right click over the drawing view and go and select convert drawing view to sketch. There is 3 different options. We're going to start with the first one, so we're going to replace the view with a sketch. I'll go and accept that. Lets me know that there's a difference in the scale, so it gives you a nice reminder there. And also, if you have hidden layers, it'll also let you know if there's a hidden layer, whether you want that to be converted as well or not. So I'm going to accept the layers there, and then tell it not to convert the extra drawing views or the extra layers. Alright, so once I go and escape out of the dialog there, you'll see that we still have our sheet format tab there, but our drawing views doesn't have the tree of the part. So the drawing view is still there, it's just no part associated to it. If I go and I grab one of the edges or one of the endpoints of this, it is a true sketch, so it's lines and arcs and in some cases splines as well. You can move things, so I can shift a circle over to a different spot. So if you're working out a concept of something, you might want to be able to do this and move it around, shift a new hole location. So it's kind of a good way of quickly making use of a converted sketch. You can also dimension them, and just as if you drew everything on the view there. So I undid back to the original drawing view, so you can see we've got the part tree there again. I'm going to go and do a convert view, and we're going to replace it with a block this time. So replace view with block. I'll go and accept. Again, we get the same 2 messages here. Converts into a block. So now if we look at our tree, there is no drawing view, but if we look at the very top, we actually have our block. So it is actually added to this drawing as a block there. So I can go and insert an additional ones if I so choose to. If I get over the right spot here, I can actually edit the block. So just like regular blocks can be right-clicked and edit, or you can even explode if you so choose. And then we can make our changes while we're in the block. Because the blocks are copies, you'll see that the whole moves for all the instances of the blocks. Alright, so I'm going to go and revert back to the end here. You notice that I can't do an undo. Prevents me from actually getting all the way back. If I exit the block, I still don't have the ability of actually getting all the way back. So what I'm going to need to do is actually delete the blocks, and then come back and reinsert this drawing view one more time here again. Alright, so I'll go and get that other view inserted. Alright, so it looks like I do need to shift the scale. I'm going to do a 2:1 because that's what I was doing earlier. Go and drop that into place. Alright, so let's go and do the last option here. So I'm going to right click over the drawing view, convert view to sketch, and then the last option is insert as a block. So the difference with this is we actually get our black leader line arrow, and then we also get our insertion point blue arrows. So it gives us 2 additional items with the insert as block. Again, same 2 messages. And I'll go and drop another one in here. And let's see, so if you look at the blocks folder, you'll see it added the 3rd block, so this is the 3rd time I've done it. And I'll go and select the block, and then I can turn on my leader. And then you'll see that we actually do get an arrow coming away from where that indicator was at. Moving on to the next section here, I have a sheet metal part that has some weldments in it as well. And what this next feature is the ability of actually doing multiple explode views per configuration. So I'm going to start out here in the part file. As you can see, I've got an existing explode already. I'll go and collapse that down. But I'm going to go and add an additional explode to the same configuration. So I right click, add explode, just like I normally would. And I'm going to go and create myself a couple of steps here. So I'm going to move these first plates down. I'll go and create another step by grabbing these four outer side plates here. And I'll go and move those down. Let's go and switch it back to the previous view there just so I can make sure that they're in the right spot. And I get those into place. And I'll go and accept my explode view. So now you'll actually see that we get multiple explode views in the same configuration. So this really helps out if you're creating different steps along the process. So I'm going to do a make drawing from part, and yes, I'm going to open my existing drawing. So this existing drawing, I'll select the view. You can see that we've got the different configurations, and I can turn on the explode views, but now I get a drop down so I can actually pick out which explode view I want to use. So this is the new one that I just created, and then I can easily switch it back to the previous one. So great for doing instruction steps without having to create additional configurations. This next item actually also pertains to sheet metal parts, and I wanted to point out I've got two different bend directions. So I've got bending in, bending out on the sheet metal part. So I'm going to go and switch over to the drawing, and I'm going to drop in the flat pattern view of this particular part. Give me 1 sec here to refresh, that way my flat pattern shows up. I'm going to take that and drag that over onto my drawing. I'm going to go and zoom in on this two direction bend. So I've got one that's going up, one that's going down, and you can see that we actually have the enhancement of having two different bend lines. I want to go and put on the little arrows there just so you can see which one's which. But the bend up is actually with a solid line, and the bend down is actually with a dashed line. So this is a new enhancement for 2013. I'm going to go into my options, switch over to my let's go and get this over here, Document Properties tab, and if you go down to sheet metal, you'll actually see that we can change the colors. So bend lines up, bend lines down, so we actually have the ability of changing the colors there. But if I go up to font, I can also change the line style independently. So if you don't like them to be solid and dashed, you can opt to make them both solid, but we have the ability of controlling those now. Moving on to the next item, there was a major overhaul of the enhancement for section tools and the interface for it. So here we've got a relatively complex assembly. In fact, I'll go and hit the tab key. This was a what's new from 2012, but tab allows you to hide some of the parts. I wanted to allow you to see the inside of this. This is a really complex assembly, and we're needing section views for it for our drawing. So I'm going to do Shift Tab and bring all the parts back. And let's go and switch over to the drawing here and start taking a look at the enhancements to the section view tool. There's only one button now, so that's actually one of the big advantages. You don't have to create sketches ahead of time. You don't need to go through and use different tools. So I'm going to grab section view. It can either be on your view layout tab, or if you're a keyboard person, you can hit the S key and then go over to your S or short menu there and grab selection. So right away you can see that we've got this purple line indicating that we're wanting to do a vertical section. I can switch between the different buttons to get to the different modes. Notice the buttons actually do have the picks associated, 1 pick or 2 pick. Also I can use my tab key to cycle between the different modes here. So I'm going to start out with a vertical section here. From there we get a little pop-up menu allowing us to do single offsets or notches or arcs. I'm going to start with a single offset, pick my first point, pick my second point, and then the menu pops up, and then I can continue the same trend. I start where I want to start at, and then go to the next one. So I might need to duplicate some points depending on what it is. Do that one more time. Start point, end point, and then once I'm ready, all I need to do is hit the OK button on this little menu that's next to my cursor here. You get the normal selection scope, just like what we normally used to, that we could hide parts. We could also change the hatching or exclude fasteners, so that window has always been there. It's just still available in this new enhancement here. So as it goes through and creates it, it is a relatively complex one, but I'm not having to draw a separate sketch. So a big time saver with this new enhancement. Go and place this off to the side, and then I'll go and accept that and get out of the view there. So that's simplistically doing the vertical with doing offsets, and this enhancement is done so that we can comply with the ASME and ISO standards. So let's go and go through the rest of the options here. So section view again. This time we'll go to a aligned, and I'm going to start in the center. My first one will be a vertical, so I bring it until I get my vertical relation there, and then I go over and go and grab one of the next points here. So notice that I am hovering near the edges for the moment, so it'll snap to the center. Allows me to get the point right into the axis of one of these spots there. This time I'm going to do an arc offset. Arc works perfect for round parts where I want an arc going from segment to segment. So it'll actually give me the arc between the two items that I'm wanting to detail out in the section view. Go and hit OK. I could continue on with an arc if I wanted to, but I'll go and accept that. Same thing, feature or selection scope is available. And we'll let it generate the view, and we'll go and position that off to the side here. Alright, so let's kind of continue on experimenting with the new section view tool. I'm going to zoom fit. I've got another view down here in the bottom corner. I want to show you one of the options or the check marks in the section view that allows us to actually speed up things. So if I do the auto start selection view, if I turn this check mark on, it doesn't pop up with a little menu once I pick, so it allows me to actually place the section views a lot quicker if they're just going to be normal section views. Notice that no submenu, goes right into the section view, come off to the side and drop the view. So with that little check mark on, it does speed things up a little bit. Again, that was the auto start selection view. So I'm going to go and zoom out. I'll go and make a copy and paste of this view here. One sec. Alright, so I'm going to take this and move it into position. I'll get rid of this duplicate section line that I didn't need. And let's go and do one more section view for this drawing, and then I've got a couple other drawings that I do want to show you as well. So half sections also doable, lots of different options. You hover over each button, it gives you the description of what it is. But so we can still do half sections without having to draw a sketch ahead of time. So this again is one of the improvements with this new tool here. So I'm going to snap it to the center and then go and place my view off to the side, and gives us a perfect half section of this large assembly. And like always, we can turn on shaded with edges just to make this assembly look colored with all of the edges there. Alright, so let's go and switch over to another drawing that I have. I'll go and hit my R key there to bring up the recent documents. Alright, so this one, I'm actually going to use the section view to do a notch. Notch, pretty straightforward. I'm going to turn off the auto because I do want the little menu next to my cursor. I'll go and do a horizontal, so I hit my tab, place my first point, and then I'm going to do the notch offset option. So first point, second point, and then I come up to my my other holes there, and then I go and accept, and then I can place my view either above or below depending on what I'm wanting to do. Like always, I can select the view. So once the view is selected, let's go and reselect it there. I can also flip the direction. So I have the ability of reversing where I'm looking at this particular model, depending on which direction the arrows are going. Alright, so I've got another model here. This is I think it's an oil gear pump or something like that. But this also is another good way of taking a look at aligned section views. I did a vertical in the last one. I'm going to do an angled one with this one. So first click will be here in the center, and then I'm going to pick the center of one of these holes, and then I'll go and grab the other hole. This time I'm not going to make any changes. I'll go and hit OK, and then selection scope still there, and then it does align it relative to the first line there. So all these were possible in the prior versions, just much faster with the 2013 version of SOLIDWORKS. Alright, here we are at the second to last item of the drawings view section. We still have the layers, other annotations, and tables to cover still. But this new option is actually the ability of saving a single view as a DXF or DWG format. So if we scroll down to the bottom of our drawing view, you'll see a Save As option down here at the bottom. So I'm going to go and expand this out. And just by expanding this out, it gives us a couple of things. It's telling us to drag the manipulator. We also see a Save button down there. But I'm going to zoom out so you can see the manipulator. So I'll go and place that in the middle of this part or wherever makes sense for the part that you're working on. Might be the lower left-hand corner. But from there, all I need to do is go and click on the Save button, and then we get the regular Save As dialog for DXF or DWG, and it just being for this one file. We can opt to export only the model geometry, or include that or not include that. We have the DXF and DWGs. Go and hit the options. From here we've got our version type, so we can save it as a different version. We can also set our scaled output type, so I can make the changes just as if I was doing a regular file save as of the entire drawing. So this is just more of a convenience thing, just so you can save a single view out. So that quick, we have a DXF or DWG file. So this next one kind of ties into the new enhancement with SpeedPack within assembly. So I've got an assembly here with a bunch of SpeedPacked sub-assemblies. The axle isn't, but I've got everything else that I'm not actively working on set as a SpeedPack. You'll see that also on the model because we'll have these blue edges showing up on the active faces there. In fact, let's go and open up one of the sub-assemblies here and edit the SpeedPack. So I'm on the Configuration tab, Edit the SpeedPack, and the selected faces, or the blue faces here, those are going to be the ones that I'm going to be able to actually add dimensions and annotations now in the 2013 version of SOLIDWORKS on drawings. So that's how that whole ties into the drawings part of it. So again, back to the assembly. The SpeedPack ones have the blue edges. Let's go and take a look at the drawing. When you drop an assembly in that has SpeedPack, you'll see that the SpeedPacked assemblies or sub-assemblies are actually going to be in gray, whereas the one that's fully loaded or not SpeedPacked is going to be in black. So I'm just going to grab a smart dimension, and those edges or those faces that were active or mated faces, I can actually put dimensions on. I can also pull off angles if I so choose to. So all the normal dimensioning stuff, as long as it's a stored face with the SpeedPack, I can bring in. Same thing with my annotations. I can also use those now, even to enhance the particular model that I'm working on. If you don't like the gray, though, you can change that. So if you go up into your options, come down to the colors group here on the left in the System Options tab, and then I'm going to scroll down until I get to Drawings, Model Edges, SpeedPack, and I'm going to change that from being the gray. I'm going to shift that over to be a black. I'll go and hit OK, and OK one more time, and that'll change all my edges to be black as well. So as I zoom in here, you'll see that all my edges, even though it's a speed pack subassembly, are all nice and crisp and black. Our next section is actually on layers. There's not a whole lot to it, to this section, but they did make some good enhancements, especially if you do use layers, especially if you wanted to put notes on for like a revision change or something like that. In the past, what you'd have to do is right-click over your toolbar, go and turn on your line format toolbar. And with the line format toolbar, we come down to the lower right-hand corner, and then we get our layer properties. We'd go into layer properties, and then we'd go and either set a default layer that we're working on, or in this case I'm going to go and create a new layer. We'll set that to rev change, and we'll go and change that to a red color, and I'll go and accept. Notice the yellow arrow, it's the active layer. Go and hit OK. So now at this point, what I can do with 2013 is I can right click and go to change layer, and I get this little menu that pops up. So I can change the active layer, or I can also get into the layer properties. It's the exact same layer properties that I was in before, just a faster way of getting. That's the simple right click. So if I have annotations or dimensions or anything I want to move to a different layer, I will right click over it, go to change layers. I'll go and shift it to the new layer that I want it to be on. So you'll see it takes on the layer color property there. If you want to do multiple items, you can go and right click and change, or control select, and then change them all at the same time. I'll right click one more time here. So change layer, and I'll go and shift it to the other layer here. Keep in mind some things with the control select doesn't always pick everything. I notice my call out here, I need to switch that manually, so I could right click over it, or I can still select it and then go over to the left here and shift it to the other layer as well. So kind of a simple enhancement, but if you use layers, it definitely speeds things up quite a bit. Thank you for viewing this DDI CAD cast. Please visit us at www.ddicad.com.